Howdy folks, good afternoon. It is Monday, September 6th, 2021. And before I get further into this video, I want to acknowledge that today is Labor Day. A day of acknowledging all of our workers that help this country going, especially when it comes to the public service employees. So like the policemen, firemen, those types of services. So for those, and even our people in the military. So for those of you who are in those types of services, I say thank you. If it weren't for you, and people even in the hospitals as well. If it weren't for any of you, our society would be a bit on the rougher edge. So, without further ado, now I will get into the part of the purpose of the video. So here we go. So I noticed, and by the way, I'm once again over at Stump Pass. You know, it's just another gorgeous day, so I just figured, why not? So, I noticed the other day when I was here, but I didn't have a chance to do a video on the plant. But this plant right here, that has a bit of those red bracts along the leaves there, is called a painted leaf. Now, it actually falls under the genus of Euphorbis, which refers to basically a Greek, I believe it was Greek, a Greek biologist who actually figured out many of the medicinal properties of other plants that falls under that same genus of Euphorbis. Now, or I think it's Euphorbia, but it was named after Euphorbis. There we go. So, what's fascinating about the plant too was previously it was actually thought to be a poinsettia, which are a very popular flower when it comes to our gardens, for instance. However, though, that classification was eventually changed. Now, a fascinating thing about the plant is it is actually native to Florida. You can find these pretty much in any county of the state, and they're very versatile too in terms of habitat preference. You can find them along coastal dunes, which is where we are right now. You can even find them in coastal hammocks and even prairies too. So they're just, yeah, they're very, very versatile where they inhabit. Now, to point out to you guys, the plant, give me a second. I don't know if you guys can really see it. Let me try to, there we go. You guys see a little bit of that white stuff there? That is actually a, sort of like a sap, milky sap that the plant produces. And you have to be careful. You don't want to have, you want to avoid having too much of this on your skin. Because from what I've read, this actually acts as a skin irritant. So, in a sense, it's actually, yeah, it's something you want to avoid. And this plant is actually poisonous, too. You want to avoid eating it. Despite it being poisonous, you actually can use it for medicinal purpose. So apparently, from what I've read about the painted leaf, is it's actually been used for antibacterial and antifungal purpose. From what I've understood, extraction, especially of the root, as a decoction, it has apparently actually been used to decrease how do I want to say it? Decreased cases of staph infections, you know, like from forgive me, Staphylococcus aureus. That's a well-known bacterial infection. And the painted leaf has a possibility of actually knocking down, you know, the likelihood of getting that infection. So that's one of the medicinal uses for the plant. So it's actually really cool. But yeah, like I said, for any of you Floridians, you can pretty much find these anywhere. And for some people, they consider it a weed, since they are everywhere. However, due to that being the case, they've actually become quite invasive. Ooh, okay. Forgive me, I'm barefoot and that sand is really hot. Now, as I was saying, with how much it grows, it's actually become invasive in other countries, such as parts of Asia, especially, and even Australia, too. So it's just something. So it can act as an invasive plant, but the fortunate news is it is indeed a native plant to Florida. Yeah. Yeah, we're also surrounded by a bunch of sea grapes. And these are native as well. And the grapes are actually edible. However, though, I'm not seeing any at the moment. It's possible the wildlife or the homies could have already been foraging. So, it is what it is. Yeah, I want to finish up the video with this one last little view right here. Yeah, you can see that the Gulf waters are finally getting their color back. You know, it's supposed to have like a turquoise appearance, and that is the case. So this is good news. This is telling us that the red tide is now starting to move. That's a good sign. So alright, you guys. Hope you enjoyed this little snippet here. Hope you learned something of value in the video. Once again, I'll share an article or two regarding further about the plant for those of you who may have seen them but weren't sure what they were. So alright, you guys, take care, enjoy your Labor Day, and once again, Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks. See ya.